Has your Google ranking dropped suddenly? Let me guess, you just made some changes to your website and now your SEO rankings are looking something like this. You see all that red? That's not good. And you know what makes it worse? That's my site. If your ranking is tanking, don't panic. Watch this video and I will show you 3 things that you can do when your ranking suddenly drops on Google. And I'll tell you right now, you're not gonna like any of the steps, but it's all going to help you out. And at the end, I'll even tell you how I think a different YouTube video helped me solve my problem. So stick around for that. Which is what we're gonna do today. In case you're not one of the hundreds of people that have watched the Steal My Local SEO strategy that's come out recently on my channel, I have been trying to rank one of my service pages in my area for a keyword that I think would be valuable. It's SEO Bend, Oregon. It's highly trafficked, decent keyword density or difficulty. And so I'm like, let's do this. And I've been posting about it in these videos. In the first video, the one that I'm showing right here, I was ranking about 32nd. After the second video, pictured here making quite the face. In that video, I was able to get the ranking up into the low 20s, and I even at one point pulled out my phone and I was above the little more results thing on mobile. I was at 20 and I was so happy about this. I went on and gloated. Look at me talking smack to the algorithm from 31st to 21st in less than 24 hours. Watch the video to find out how I did it. And then what happened? Well, I checked my phone just a couple days later and I had to click the little button. I imagined seeing the results right there below. And instead, I had to do something like this. Okay, yep. Lots of scrolling, right? And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I had to scroll so far, I had to click the more results, and that's after 50 results. I was like 52nd. And right now I'm still in the 40s and I'm kind of lost. And the reason why I'm posting this video is because this is what happens to both small business owners who are hopefully watching this video trying to do their own SEO, and also say like web designers or newer SEOs that are trying to figure this out, right? You're going to hit these snags. It's happened to me before. You feel this sudden panic, this need to do something. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the underlying theme of this is that we just need to take a deep breath and follow these steps, all right? So let's figure out what we should do if your ranking drops suddenly on Google. Number 1, make sure that nothing is wrong. The very first thing you should do is just go to the dang website and make sure it's working. Quick story time, I recently had an SEO client whose site went down and I noticed it because I was starting to work on his site and I noticed he wasn't ranking in his normal spot. He was actually down several spots and I said, this guy's got great SEO. What is going on here? I clicked on the site and it didn't load. So check your domain provider, check your hosting provider, check your website builder or CMS for being technical. Make sure all that stuff's dialed in because that could be the problem. It could be as simple as that. Got that fixed. Within a couple days, his ranking came right back. Check to make sure that's working. Is the site down? If the site is not down, then we need to do a technical audit. If you've never done this before, I'm not going to go over the whole process here, but you're going to want to check out something called Hrefs Site Audit Tool. It's free if you can verify domain ownership, so you can just do a text record, or if you have your site linked up to Google Search Console, you can also do that. I'll show you the results really fast. It looks something like this, all right? So you get an overall score, and then if you have any errors, it'll tell you in this little issues log up here in the top left corner. So you click on that, and you want to look for any reds, right? Any reds, you want to make sure you look for those and try to rectify those. And so I'll be fully transparent. I did do that before I recorded this video. So I had a couple like links that were pointing back to the old permalink. If you saw the first video, you know I changed it from local SEO Bend, Oregon to just SEO Bend, Oregon. But it didn't seem glaring enough. But you might see some really serious like broken links and things like that. So this is just a chance to shore up your technical SEO. I got my 98 up to 99, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Not quite 100, but I'm okay with that. I got a lot of pages. So, okay. So we checked if it was down. We ran the technical audit. We fixed those things. Now, what do? We wait, we relax, and we see if it worked. Number 2, make sure we are not having a site-wide penalty. Now, why does this usually happen? Typically speaking, it's because you went on Fiverr and paid somebody a couple bucks to buy you backlinks. I knew it would come back to haunt you. How do we check to see if we have a site-wide penalty? Well, there's 2 practical things you can do to check this pretty quickly. The first thing you should do is check another one of the keywords you have and see if it's also being downranked. Let's check really fast for me. I typically rank on the first page for Bend Web Design, which is my main keyword for my web design company. I'm also in the map pack typically, so let's see where we're at there. So we got an ad at the top, and then there we are, still number 2 in the map pack. Perfect, where we normally are. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so yeah, might even be higher than we normally are. So we're not getting a site-wide penalty. I can already tell you that. If I was getting a site-wide penalty, I would have at least seen a little bit of a drop. But another place that you can check is on Google Search Console. And if that's the case, you're going to want to go down to where I'm at. So I'm going to get out of the way. Down here and look for, where is it? Oh, here it is. It's hiding under Security and Manual Actions. And then you're going to click on Manual Actions. And you're probably going to see this. No issues detected. Perfect. But if there was a problem, you would see it there. So we want to make sure that our ranking hasn't dipped on any of the other pages, and we have to make sure we don't have any manual actions in Google Search Console. If you were to have one, you would need to rectify those issues. Maybe you need to do a disavow file for your bad backlinks, or maybe you need to reach out to them directly. Good luck, I've tried that before. This video is not about that. Make sure you get that stuff fixed, report it all to Google, and then you're gonna have to do what every other step's gonna have us do. You're gonna have to wait, okay? Step number 3, ask yourself, what have I done recently? Specifically to the page. If you haven't done much, well, if you've only dipped a little bit, you need to look at your competitors. You might just be getting outranked because 1, they have better content than you, and 2, maybe they have more backlinks than you. But if you're dropping suddenly, which I'm guessing is why you searched this term to get to this video, then it's not just a couple spots, right? And so the first thing you should actually think, if you haven't done changes lately, is that Google just did an algorithm update. Let me tell you a little story. On my journey to get onto the first page for Bend Web Design, I actually had a dip like this before, so I wanted to share this story. And so it was in August. I was ranking about 20 something, right? And I was doing better and better, and then all of a sudden, in a matter of a couple days, I dropped down into the 30s, the low 30s, well, I guess the high 30s, right? And I was like, what the heck? Even getting down to almost like 40. I was losing my mind, right? And I didn't have any changes that I thought I could make, but within no time, not only had I recovered, but I landed in the 15s, and I would go on to, and I don't think I really made any content changes, and I would end up getting to 12 in due time, So from 22 to 12 in about 2 months, about a month and a half, with this weird dip right here. What happened? Google algorithm update. At first, it wasn't sure what to think of me, but then as time passed, it said, actually, this is better content than some of the competitors, and it ranked me higher. So all you can do is get out there and see if there's been a Google update, and if it has, okay, maybe you need to comply with the updates. However, most of the time, you just have to wait. Now, what if you've done a lot of changes to your page? Well, if you've done a lot of changes to your entire website, like you did a whole website redesign, and you didn't think about SEO migration, you're probably going to have a bad time. That's a topic for another video. Actually, if you want me to cover that in a full video, because I've done that for a couple clients of mine, leave a comment below, because migrating from one domain to another, or from one location to another, or from one web building platform to another, you have to be so careful so you don't lose any of the rankings you have. I don't know if you can hear, but Loaf is barking right now because he's thinking you're going to do this without SEO migration. Can you hear that? And you need to worry about your SEO migration. And so if you didn't do that, then you're kind of screwed, and you're just going to have to wait, sorry love, to get your SEO ranking back. But what if it's just one page? What if it's only one page, kind of like me, and you just changed a bunch of content? What do? I think you really just wanted to make a cameo in this video. Yeah, is that right? Okay, maybe you did. Get out of here. So let's say you made changes to one page like I did. Maybe you over-optimized. Maybe you've hit it just right. But you don't know yet, Sam. It's only been less than a week. So what do you have to do? Wait. Don't be reactive when it comes to your SEO. Follow best practices, stay ahead of the curve, and be proactive with your SEO strategy, and the algorithm over time will reward you. Look, follow Ben Web Design as the time went on and we get to the front page. And honestly, that's with pretty minimal on-page changes. Now there's one more thing I have to tell you about. What's wrong with my SEO Bend, Oregon page? Something has to be wrong, right? Well, maybe not. I did shake up the content quite a bit. Go back to steal my SEO strategy number 2 to see that. But there's actually one thing I almost missed until I watched this guy's video. Leon Angus, thank you. You saved my life. I don't know if I could play the video, so I'm not going to, but I will just say it was bullet point number 5, and he mentioned site speed changing, the speed of the page specifically. And that made me think, like, it can't be that simple, right? Well, I just ran this page through GT metrics, and I don't have that report anymore, so I apologize for that. But if you see right here, you can actually see the time it took to get the initial payload, and it was over 2 seconds, and that gave it a rating of like a C. And I was like, what? That doesn't seem right. So then I went back into GT metrics, and I measured, and I took a screenshot of this so that way we could look at it. So I got a C for the SEO page, but then I just checked the home page, and it was getting an A, which is what I expected. Is like a high B, low A usually, which I'm fine with. And look, its largest contentful paint, whatever that means, right, is 0.9 seconds, and that's fine. But 2.3 for the SEO page, something was wrong. So I had to dig a little bit deeper. So I checked, sure enough, on the home page, it was loading in 272 milliseconds, a tenth of the time. And by the way, if you don't know how to pull this up, I'm just going to show you really quick. Just right click on anything and hit inspect, and then that'll bring up this panel, which we normally use when we're doing like CSS tweaks and stuff like that. But there's a different button up there for network. So click on network, and then you're going to have to hit Command R or Control R, and it'll like waterfall all the resources, see those pulling in. And right now I'm just worried about the first thing. You'll get some metrics down here, which are good. Those are kind of like the things you see on GT metrics. But if you scroll up, the initial payload is right there. So on this particular load, the homepage took 320 milliseconds. That made me think, okay, well maybe it's just the service pages. So I checked the web design service page. No, 225 milliseconds. Now that really got me thinking. All of the pages, except the SEO page, are loading in a tenth of the time. Something's wrong. So I decided to check my caching. I cleared out the dynamic cache and the mem cache in SiteGround. I reran the tests. Boom. And 217 milliseconds. Thank you, Leon Angus. I appreciate you. Link in the description if you want to watch his video. I intentionally made sure I didn't cover everything in his video, so that way you go watch his video after this. So thank you for your video, Leon. I definitely hit like and subscribe on your video. And if you're watching this video right now, it's a good idea to hit that like button so more people can see this in case they come across the same issue in the future, and hit subscribe so that way you can see what comes next in this chapter. Now what comes next? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I think I do need to chill. Take a couple weeks to let the SEO dust settle, as I like to say. And so next week, you're going to see a completely different video. That video is going to be on an SEO case study of a small business owner in a small area. Sometimes it's hard to rank for those keywords, even though they appear, according to the metrics we all look at all the time, search volume, keyword difficulty, they appear to be easy to rank for. But in a small area, because so many people are fighting for the same keywords, it becomes paradoxically competitive. So we're going to look at a guy trying to DIY his own SEO and not tear him apart, but give him some constructive criticism for how he can improve his own DIY efforts. So you're definitely going to check that out. And then in 2 weeks, we'll continue Steal My SEO strategy, and hopefully we've recovered some ranking and we can see what should we do next. So be sure to subscribe and hit that little dinger so you don't miss those videos. And by the way, if you are out there trying to DIY your own SEO, maybe you're a web designer trying to help your clients with their SEO and you're just kind of getting started in your SEO journey, no worries, I got you covered. Link in the description if you have a hard time listening to all the letters I'm about to say. But yoursmallbizseosuccess.com is the home for my SEO newsletter. You just put your first name and your email and you're signed up. It's that easy. And I send out an email newsletter every week. People are really liking it. It's got a click-through rate of, it's through the roof. It's phenomenal. And people are giving me good feedback. And so I really want to start building this little community of people trying to hustle in the SEO small business world. So let's work together. Let's strive. And let's talk about the real stories, right? It's not all about build backlinks for 0 domain authority sites. Sometimes it's about just grinding and getting over humps like this. So if you found this useful, again, subscribe. More to come. Looking forward to it. And let's make a quick prediction. I'm going to say Chiefs 24, Niners 21. Till next time.